Welcome back to another PowerShell video. Today we're going to be talking about variables. What are they? What they're used for? We've already seen a little bit about this so far because we've been storing data, and that's exactly what they're used for. You store data, storing values such as integers, which are whole numbers, strings, arrays, decimal numbers, hash tables, different objects because you can create various different objects because there's loads out there to create, and you store them all in variables. They're stored in memory. A certain amount of memory is allocated to every variable. So if you're declaring variables absolutely everywhere that you're not going to really use, you'll be taking up memory. It's good programming practice to declare your variables right at the beginning of the program, and therefore you can see what's going on a little bit, especially with your global variables. Each variable is preceded with a $sign, as we've seen previously. If you don't assign a value to them, what happens? Assign null. The name can contain any alphanumeric characters. You can use special characters, and to use those you'd have to enclose the name of the variable with curly brackets, but to be honest, I'd avoid them. Stick with underscores, but any other ones, avoid. By default, variables are only available in the scope that they're created. So we'll jump straight into what global variables are. Right, so global variables, these, like I've just mentioned, depend on scope. So if you're using variables within a function, they can only be seen within that function. So you want data to be available throughout the whole program. Global variables allow you to do this, so you can set the value anywhere that you want and you can read it anywhere that you want because they're global. So let's have a little look at what we've got running here. I'm setting up a global variable by doing $global, then the colon, and then the name of the variable, and then it equals the value. Notice the name of the variable hasn't got a dollar on it, but when we're writing it out, it has. So we'll just run that, see what we get. And of course, this is my first global variable. You can see that it's set there, it's writing it out there. So very simple. So now we're going to talk a little bit about the types. So I'll just get rid of that so it comes back into scope. We've got a string here that we're setting. So the value is hello. So we're actually setting the type as a string. So I'll just play through that and step over it. So as you can see, that's set as hello, it's a string. We can now set it to 2. Now that doesn't set that as an integer, it's still a string. So if I do get type, I'll just copy that down here, we can see it's a string, but the value is 2, but it's a string still. This next bit here is going to put a 10 at the end of it, so it's a concatenation. So there we can see words is now equal to 210. Because it's done plus equals 10, so it's concatenated 2 and 10 together. Even though we're playing around with things, it's still strings. So if I do get type on there again, we're still talking about strings, we're not talking about numeric values. So we'll play with A now. So A we're going to set to equal 12. Look at the get type of A. That's an integer, like you'd expect. The next one we're going to set it going as a string. We'll do get type on there. It's a string. Same with like this one, it's of a type object, as you can see there, because it's getChildren, which you'd use for looking up a file system. And again, we'll do it as a date, and as you can see here, I'm just going to set dates there. You can see that's setting the value there using the type date time. Test there, we're going to assign a value of a string of dates. So let's have a look at test. Oh, look, it's a string. There's a surprise. So now we're going to set test to being date. It's a date and time. We've got words 1 here. We're going to set that. We're going to do it to an integer and just have a look at the get type on words 1. There you go, integer. So we'll get rid of all that lot now. And we'll look at this bit. These are 2 functions that you can use. You can do set variable and get variable, and we're just writing out the variable here. To be honest, I don't use these a lot. I just assign variables, the values, setting the types if you need to. So the set variable is actually set a new variable called new variable. Get variable is getting the variable there so you can see what it is. And we're just writing out the variable there that's got the word test in it because the value is test. So that's a very formal way of using variables. So there you are, variables in a nutshell. Welcome to website of the video. Today's website is tinywow.com. This is a website that'll give you loads of free tools. You've got video tools, imaging tools, PDF, AI Write. We'll have a quick look at AI Write. That sounds quite interesting. So you've got essay writer, paragraph writer, content improver, story generator. There's absolutely loads on here. Quick look at another one, image tools, PDF to JPEG, AI image generator, upscale image. There's loads upon this. So go to tinywow.com.